Alright, so in this recap, I'm just going to be going through price action and then where some good spots to take trades were, as well as the performance of the SMT indicator on the 5-minute time frame, since that is a time frame that I like to trade. So I didn't take any trades today on any real accounts. I took like one paper trade, but I was kind of not taking any trades today to take a break. It was been a long week, a long day yesterday, so I wanted to give myself a break both physically and mentally, so I can reset for next week. Anyway, I'll get into it. First thing we want to do is we want to go hit replay. Take us all the way to pre-market. So at pre-market, I did the pre-market prep. I drew all the zones, so the zones are there. But the pre-market low and pre-market high, I had to add in later. So this is the pre-market low, falls right on this demand zone, and then pre-market high is up here. I have it at like 407.76. So pretty choppy day today, but we still had some good A+ setups, and I'll walk you through some of those, as well as the price action. So right away here, this first candle, we were in this zone right here, the supply zone. We ended up rejecting this fib level, but this was still an overall bullish candle. However, I don't trade the first hour as we don't have a clear established trend or an idea of what the price is going to look like. You can see here we try to break out of this zone. We have a fib level on the zone top here, which we reject. Pull back down below this zone. We find some support on the 21 EMA, and then we close right at this zone bottom support. Alright, so we bounce off of that zone and we make a strong bullish engulfing candle. However, again, this is the third time that we've attempted to break out of this zone and failed, and then we attempt a fourth time here. So 4 times we tried to wick past this fib level. It's a really strong resistance, as well as this zone. We can't get through, so I'm just kind of watching this back and forth price action. Here we find some support on this fib level, and we try to break out for this is the 5th time we try and reject, and then that's followed by a huge dump where we find support on the demand zone right here. Next candle takes us back up into the zone. Huge bullish engulfing candle here. I was not in any positions here because we do have a strong overhead resistance. So we have this 200 EMA in the bottom of the zone as well as a fib level. So I don't see a good call entry there. Alright, so we end up rejecting this pre-market high level 3 times. You can see we're trying to get through it, but we're working through. Unable to break through. Now we're starting to look a little bearish. We're starting to look a little top heavy. You can see that we have multiple rejections off of this pre-market high, and then this is where it starts to turn bearish, and then we have this dump right here. I'm still not in any positions. We still have a green MACD. Well, I didn't take any positions, but theoretically I wouldn't be. We still have a green MACD. We still have a bullish 921 EMA. We're still above VWAP. And we have some strong support you can see on this fib level. So I'm not looking at any puts. I'm just watching. Again, we're still finding support here. We found support on this fib level, 21 EMA and VWAP. But we are starting to get some curling on the MACD. This was a really bearish candle. I'm starting to really like puts here. You can see the volume is increasing on these sells. You can see that this was a pretty bearish candle. We went all the way down to the zone. We did get some buying pressure, so I'm a little weary about that. It's kind of a long wick to the bottom, but we did get that MACD crossover, so puts are looking even better. Alright, we're still waiting for a good entry. Right, we started to kind of look like a bear flag here. Right, so we pulled all the way down. Now we're consolidating. We did find some support on this fib level, and we tried to get through the 9 EMA. So I don't want to enter puts yet. I'm just watching because we are starting to get slight signs of reversal, so we want some confirmation to the downside. All right, so we get an upward move here. Looks like we reject that 200 EMA. You can see the 200 EMA is a really strong resistance here. That's was really strong support here, and now it's acting as a strong resistance right there. Another time we reject it, and now we're looking even more bearish. So this is the second time we're testing this region, right? So now I'm starting to like bearish the bearish side even more. If we get a close below VWAP here, I can see a nice push down to at least this fib level right here. We already have this bearish setup, kind of like a bearish abandoned baby with a larger red candle. So we have some downside pressure. We have the red MACD, and we see that uptick in volume on that candle. However, this one doesn't have that much volume, so let's get another candle below VWAP, and then I'll look at put scalping. All right, we're right on VWAP. We did find some support. So again, I'm waiting for a close below VWAP. Nope. Alright, so there we go. That is my entry. I like this. So we did end up closing below VWAP. So VWAP is so strong that I would use VWAP as my stop. So I'd enter puts here, looking to scalp to this next fib level. And then if we have a close back above VWAP, I would get stopped out. And I forgot to do this, but I do like to mark the highs and lows and then strong supports for the day. So we have additional targets below this zone. So anyway, we're going to enter puts there and then take some profit at that level right there. Take our profit, get out, and it actually continues dumping all the way to this fib level. So now we have a potential second trade that we can take, right? So we see that we finally have that 921 bearish crossover. That's one piece of conviction. We have this bearish engulfing candle, second piece of conviction. We're now below VWAP, third piece of conviction. We have an increase in selling volume, fourth piece of conviction, and then we have the Rev MACD, fifth piece of conviction. I do want to see a little bit more strength. I want to see us crack through that fib level support, and then I could definitely see us hitting the bottom of this zone on puts. So you could enter puts there. We actually end up going all the way to this intraday support, but that is another nice opportunity. End up finding some support there, and we begin reversing. Alright, so now we are looking at a bullish trade, right? So we had a nice reversal. We had some wicks that actually looked kind of bearish, but then we were able to break through, and we were kind of picking up volume there. So here's another A+ setup, right? So number one, we have this bullish engulfing candle close above a strong resistance, right? At the top of this zone. So I like that breakout. That's one piece. We have increasing volume. That's another piece. We have a green MACD. That's another piece. We're now above VWAP. That's another piece. And then we have a bullish 921 EMA crossover. We're going to enter some calls here, and we're going to look to target the 200 EMA resistance as our exit point, and our stop would be a close. I would say below this strong fib level support. We have a good amount of room. We're not going to take if we close within the zone, that doesn't give us too much wiggle room. So we'll take a close below this strong fib level support as our stop. And there it is. So we take profits to the 200 EMA. We do end up going all the way back and retesting the strong resistance of the pre-market high. And we actually attempt to retest high of day, and then we have a strong rejection here on this bearish inverse hammer candle. So that looked like a double top was going to form if we couldn't break through that resistance. You can see now we're getting some bearishness. We close below this zone on a bearish candle. Find some support on the 21 EMA. And now we're just kind of chugging along. Again, honestly, at this point, now we're approaching a strong support here that I want to see break. So if we can get below a close below VWAP in this fib support, I would look to scalp puts to the next fib support. You can see that we're already starting to look pretty bearish, and this is a good entry here. So pieces of conviction, we have increased selling volume on this move, right? So that's one. We have a red MACD. Number two, number three, we're below VWAP, and then we can say number four. Honestly, we don't have that crossover yet. So that candle formation, if we could call that candle formation bearish, but it's slightly bearish. It's more bearish than it is bullish, but it is kind of a, equidistant. You have equal wicks on each side, but we do have a strong downtrend. So this is maybe an A setup, not an A+ setup, but we could enter puts and scalp right there. Stop loss would be a close above this fib level or VWAP. Okay, so that one would get stopped out. Here we go. Now we have another setup here. So this setup was a good setup for puts. This one I like a lot more than the other one. So here we have a bearish engulfing candle. We have massive increase in volume. We have the red MACD. We have the crossover. We're below VWAP. And the sixth piece of conviction is we have the indicator confirming. So that's an amazing trade. I would enter this trade every single time, looking to take profits on the next fib level. With a move this strong, I could see us going to the fib level even below that. Okay, so we tag that fib level, we take profits. We couldn't quite make it to the second fib level down. So got a strong reversal there. Okay, this is a great one. So this was my favorite call setup of the day. So you can see here we found some strong support on this demand zone top. We have a huge bullish engulfing candle. We have a nice increase in volume. We have that green MACD crossover. We're above VWAP, and we have the 921 EMA crossover, and we have our piece of conviction from the indicator. So I would enter calls here, and then I would look to scalp to this fib level resistance, which is essentially coupled with the bottom of the supply zone. So we enter calls there. Right, oh, stop is a close below the 200, and this is a huge candle. It shows you the end of candle here, but we shot all the way up to pre-market high and then came back down. So this target was hit, and even an additional target to the upside. So another good trade today. Nothing here is too appealing. We do have this nice breakout, but yeah, I'm not too much of a fan. This is the third time that we're testing this area. And then that move looks a little extended. We'll continue to move up. Now that we're kind of running into that 3 p.m. time frame, things can get a little volatile. And there we go. So we do end up closing higher than we broke that high of day, and then after we broke that high of day, we did hit the next fib level. I did not take any trades, or I wouldn't consider a trade there just because it's so close to the end of the day, and the theta is really risky. So anyway, that's the price action analysis for today. Didn't take any trades, but I was able to identify some really good setups that would have worked out. So hope you guys enjoy.